Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Vibes with Intuitively D. And today we're back with a video for the Cancer New Moon. The Cancer New Moon is happening June 25th, 2025 at 3:41 Pacific Coast. Hello, Pacific Standard Time, so adjust accordingly. And what a lovely moon. As a Capricorn Sun and Venus, Capricorn Cancer season just really like takes me to the bottom of just to the bottom, okay? But I am really excited for this Cancer new moon and let's get into it. If you're new here, hi, welcome. So glad you've made your way to my channel. If you have not already subscribed, shared, and commented on any of the other videos or to this channel, please do so now. I greatly appreciate it. And you know how this is going to go. So I'm going to give you some background. I have some handy dandy notes in front of me because if not, I'll just ramble and then forget like the actual real points I wanted to make. And then click the timestamp to see where this is happening for your rising sign. Please leave me a comment. I really want to know what you're trying to manifest or implement or reach during this Cancer new moon. But here we go. So we have a really beautiful, emotional, powerful new moon in Cancer on June 25th. And there's a ton to like really talk about. Like I will always tell you, I am the astrologer for the beginner. So if you want like some like super deep, not even super deep, how can I say this? If you are super advanced and you want more, then I'm not the person for you. But if you want to know, if you're just getting started in your astrology journey, your tarot journey, and you want somebody to help you, to guide you, I am the one. If you are a seasoned astrologer tarot reader, then this might give you a very different perspective and bring you back to the basics. And let's get into it. So this new moon is linking up. It's doing some things with some major planets, right? This moon, which also means the sun, and we'll talk about that as well. The moon is going to conjunct Jupiter in Cancer. Remember, Jupiter moved into Cancer last week, June 9th. It's going to make a square to Saturn in Aries. It's going to make a square to Neptune in Aries. And then it's going to make a sextile to Mars in Virgo, which Mars will move into Virgo on June 17th. So probably by the time that you watch this video, it has already moved there. So what's a new moon? It's when the sun and the moon are in the same sign at the same time and they make a conjunction. They kiss each other, which that's how I like to look at it. It's an extra boost of energy. It's a great time for manifesting, journaling, writing down new things, some goals, some ambitions that you want to accomplish. And remember, a new moon cycle is about 6 months because we'll see this full moon during Capricorn season. So in December, we will see this come to fruition. So whatever you're trying to manifest, please give it some time. Please be patient with it. Like, you know, I'm never going to be one of those girlies that's like immediately tomorrow, this thing is going to happen that you wrote down, that you did a ritual for. It's going to take some time. All right. So it's a really good time to set some intentions for new beginnings. So this Cancer energy, which I want to be very honest, I'm not a huge fan of Cancer energy. It is my sister sign, and I'm just going to leave it like that. But Cancer is ruled by the moon. It governs our emotion, our intuition, our inner world, and our relationships, especially with the home, the family, our mother. It's what makes us feel safe emotionally, okay? Emotionally. This new moon in Cancer is happening at 4 degrees, which if you know anything about degree theory, 4 degrees, it's a Cancer degree. So this is a Cancer new moon. We're going to ask ourselves during this new moon, this lunation, to nurture ourselves, tend to our home, tend to our chosen family. And I really want to emphasize the word chosen family because I know I get what this world is about. And some of us no longer are in contact with our blood family. They drive us bonkers. We have low contact, minimum contact, no contact. So this is about chosen family. Alrighty. It's about checking in with your emotional well-being, your safety and security when it comes to that area of your life. And it really is asking you, what do I need to feel safe, to feel supported, and to be at peace as I'm living in this present moment? And I'm not going to mention politics at all, but I know it is so freaking wonky right now, everything that's going on. So I know this might be a struggle for some of us to create peace in the world that is not peace. There is no peace right now, right? Some things that are going on with this, some feelings that might come up during this new moon. You might want to start or grow a family, decorate or cleanse your home, spend some time in the home or places where you feel at home, creating cozy and comfortable energy. Okay, so if you've already like started to feel like this nesting, if you've ever been pregnant before, you get towards the end of the pregnancy, you feel like, okay, now I got to just create this environment because I'm coming home, I want to rest, all that stuff. It can feel like that nesting energy with this Cancer new moon. And like I already mentioned, as a Cancer sun, January 2nd to be exact, and a Cancer Venus, all in my 6th house, if I am telling you this could be a comfy, cozy, great new moon for expansion, then please trust me, it's a good time. Alrighty, so let's talk about some aspects. So the moon conjunct Jupiter in Cancer. Jupiter expands, of course, whatever it touches. And let me be very clear, it expands the negative as well as the positive. It just expands it. With the moon and Jupiter coming together, there is some potential for big emotional breakthroughs, expanding your sense of family, blood or chosen, inviting people into the home, kicking people out of the home so you feel more safe emotionally. There's this idea of generosity, optimism, and hope going on. Home upgrades, moves, just, I think I said nesting energy. I love it for us. I really do. Yeah. So you might feel called to create some space in your home, your heart, or your schedule, and you'll want to feel nurturing and emotionally aligned. So you're really going to get some clarity on who is there for you and who is not there for you. And I'm going to invite you to just really like gain some clarity on that and make some choices accordingly. Okay. So then the next positive aspect that this moon is making is the sextile, a harmonious aspect to Mars in Virgo. This one is not going to be as loud as the other things, but it's there, and I hope that y'all lean into it a little bit. It's super quiet, and it can give us some clarity on organization and grounded action. So if there's conversations that need to be held with the family, organizing the home, clarity with relationships, this little sweetness can help us gain all of that. You'll have the energy to express your needs from your heart, speak gently but clearly. Like sometimes Cancers don't say the thing, they think people can read their mind, and then sometimes Virgos say too much, right? And they say it in a kind of judgmental, condescending way. This is going to kind of bridge the two, so you'll be able to speak gently and clearly. And then it's also going to help you take practical steps to improve your emotional stability in your relationships. It's really a good time to set intentions on how you communicate, especially in relationships, your romantic ones, your family ones, and even at work, honestly. Now it gets a little bit tricky. So we have this moon squaring Neptune in Aries. We know Neptune, it's foggy, it's can lead to delulu. It's a planet of illusion, over idealism. So you might feel a little bit drained as these things start coming up during this lunation. You might even realize that you've been giving too much to people and not prioritizing yourself. You might be confused about how you're really feeling compared to the group. So like that Aries sense of like self, and then Cancer, like making sure everybody's cool. You might have some confusion, like, have I been really overgiving? Are people reciprocating the love, the generosity, the hope, the optimism I'm giving them? Or are they just being takers? You might be tempted to play the martyr. So continue into that like vibe. Please don't. Please don't. Especially with your family, especially if there's something with like female relatives, specifically the mother. Maybe it's, you know, kind of enmeshment going on. You start to really gain some clarity on like, ugh, this might need, hello. You might realize you've been sacrificing your needs for others, and this is really going to be your wake up call to just reassess and create some boundaries that protect your peace. All right. I know how cliche that sounds, but like honestly, sometimes we need to be told that over and over again, and sometimes we just need a little more clear confirmation. Like you've been thinking it intuitively, because this Cancer new moon is going to be highly intuitive, right? Of course it is. So you might have already been feeling the nudges for that, and I'm just here to like confirm what you've already been feeling. I'm probably not telling you anything new, honestly. So then we have the next like that's aspect that's going to go on with this moon is Sun square Saturn. So we know Saturn. We know it. And I don't think I mentioned this, but you know, Cancer is cardinal wire. Hello. Cardinal fire. Hello. Cardinal water. Am I okay? Anyway, Cancer is cardinal water, right? So it's going up against another cardinal sign, cardinal fire, steam. Like I picture it as like, you know, a geyser. Is that the word I'm looking for? A hot spring. I picture it as a hot spring. It might feel good in the beginning, but then you're like, it's too hot in here for me. I might need to leave. I might can only stay in for this amount of time. It gives that vibe, the square Saturn, the moon square Saturn in Aries. Saturn in Aries, Saturn just doesn't like being in Aries as well. So like there's just a lot of like fisticuffs going on here. You know, Saturn in Aries is going to bring restriction and pressure around asserting yourself. It's also can bring restrictions around your home, like where you live, like boundaries and stuff like that, where you are at. So like you might feel a little bit blocked from expressing your true desires. You might struggle to balance freedom with family expectations. I think that's going to be the one. Like you want to expand and the family is like, and you're like, okay. And you might notice patterns of resentment and emotional burnout with this lunation as well. But like all of that noticing, all of that conflict, all of that uncomfortability is going to lead you to a place of sweetness, right? So I am going to invite you to ask yourself, how can you create boundaries once again that feel loving but firm? What relationships need some balance, more clarity, and a little bit of space? And then here are my final thoughts. And of course, after my final thoughts, please find your video for your rising sign. So this new moon is tender. It's not about pushing. It's not about honoring your inner world. Bear with me. You know, perimenopause is really just, it's doing a lot right now. This new moon is about honoring your inner world, your needs, your space, your softness, okay? It's time to set some intentions around how you feel in your home, how you feel in your body, how you feel in your relationships. Ask what you need with who you love, speak from the heart, speak with clarity, and trust that the rest and emotional safety are sacred. I love this moon for you all, and I love it for myself. Of course, I will have a tarot spread with the astrology for your rising sign, and I might do something a little bit different, like an extended version of the tarot, but I'm trying to figure that out right now. But like I said, if you haven't shared, subscribed, sorry, if you haven't liked, comment, shared, subscribe to the channel, please do so. I love to know how you think this is going to work out for you, how you would love it to work out for you. And like I said, go ahead and find your rising sign. And if you like to work with me, the links are in the description box. I will see you next time. Hi Aries and Aries Rising. This is your Cancer new moon video. This is happening in your 4th house of home, family, and roots. The new moon is really going to charge up your 4th house, activating your foundation, really your emotional foundation. It's also going to make a square if to any of your personal planets that you have in Aries. So if you have anything between 0 and 6 degrees of Aries, it's going to make a challenging aspect, and that's cool because it's really getting us to just upgrade who we are more authentically, especially when it comes to family, roots, emotional well-being in that area of our life. So really just try to set some intentions around what does it mean to soften into your emotional foundations, into your family. Are you expanding your family? My earring just fell off. Are you expanding your family? Are you going back and looking at how you can heal your roots? Like, just really, like, the mother wound might come up, and you're like, I've been doing too much for the family. I need to focus on myself. There's conversations, but really, definitely some new intentions around that area of your life. Remember, Mars, your ruler, is in the sixth house. So they're of like our day-to-day schedules and routines and health and wellness. So there might be something that the home life is making. Maybe you're redecorating your home, setting some intentions to expand your home, but like really coming back to a rhythm in the house, in the family that really suits you and that is expansive and that is a little more intuitive and a little more heartfelt. All right. Saturn and Neptune in your first house is asking you to redefine who you are and how you feel safe and how you might want to expand in those areas of your life as well. But making sure that they feel safe, they feel stable, and that your mental well being is of the utmost importance, not just this doing, being impulsive, but really thinking about does it feel good from the heart, okay? So you might feel like you want to make space for more supportive people in your life, make a more supportive, comfortable home, whatever that looks like for you, or even like invite in or remove like family to do those things. So, really, time to soften into intentions, not rush, like not being impulsive, but knowing that this will take some time and it's a slow build. What's gonna grow here, you need to tend it with care, tend it with the heart space. Here's a journal prompt for you and then a tarot pull. What kind of space do I need to feel truly at home in my environment and within myself? And let's pull a card for you. Wow, okay, well, you have to, I think you are releasing this lack of Five of Cups. Maybe not feeling emotionally supported by the family. You had a conversation with them and now you feel a little more fertile. Let me put them in the order that they fell out. Nope, that's not the order that they fell out in. Here we go. So Five of Cups, speaking of like feeling lack of money, lack of Five of Cups would be like lack of emotional support, but maybe your housing situation has been just really not stable, not secure, and you really didn't know that you could find like a place to live or people to support you and create safety and stability when it comes to like the home space because it's happening in your fourth house and it's kind of rocking your world. And then we get the Judgment card, which is major arcana, very air sign, very like we need to communicate, we need to have some conversations, we need to listen up to all the inklings that we've been getting. So then we can move into the Empress, another major arcana, which is really like the feminine version of the Emperor, right? Which would be your card. So it's you can birth new things. You can sit and be well taken care of, fully nourished, very supported. So I think this is really asking you to shift your perspective on how you communicate with people in your home and how to get a home. And home, I was telling clients yesterday, or I was telling students in my yoga practice yesterday, because I was explaining Jupiter in Cancer, and I was telling them, like, we tend to always think it's home as an outside place, right? Like the apartment, the condo, the mansion, whatever the fuck we live in. But really, our first home is ourself. So I'm going to challenge you to shift your perspective of what home is to make it more personal, more yourself. And if you have been feeling like there is not stability, security in yourself, maybe you reach out to other people. Maybe you have conversations with other people. Maybe you have this aha moment during this Cancer new moon that this is not the place nor the people I really want to hang out with. And I'm going to set some intentions so I can feel a little more supported, so I can be a little more fertile with my ideas, so I can expand a little bit more. Okay? Okay. I hope that was helpful for you, Aries Rising. See you next time. Please let me know in the comments. Like it, share it, subscribe it. We'd love to hear from you. Hi, Taurus and Taurus Rising. This is your Cancer New Moon video. Third house for you, the house of communication, the house of siblings, the house of daily mindset, teaching, learning, short distance travel. I think this Cancer New Moon is going to be really sweet for you. It sextiles any of your Taurus placements, especially if they're between 0 and 6 degrees. So this is just a really sweet, lovey-dovey time. I think this is a great time to set some intentions around communicating with your community. So if you're doing a speaking engagement or wanting to teach something new, or maybe like you haven't seen your siblings in a while or female relatives in a while, this can be a really healing time for that relationship, or going out and visiting them as well. This is also short distance short distance trips might be really nice, close to some water. Just really like soaking in the intentions of connecting with people that are close to you, or teaching something that is near and dear to your heart. And maybe you have to travel to teach that thing. And if this is something that you've been thinking about, like being a traveling teacher or professor or writer, speaker, something like that, this would be the new moon to write some intentions around there. I really love that for you. Remember, we have Mars and Virgo in your 5th house, a fellow earth sign. So there is this idea of like your creative fire, your creative discipline, your creative self coming back and doing it a little more with precision and less with a little more like, I'll do it whenever, right? It is asking you to maybe put a plan into motion of how you could come back to your creative self, whether that's singing, dancing, painting, all of those good things, and then communicating that in your community, okay? Saturn and Neptune at this time, because the moon is going to be squaring them in your 12th house, is really like maybe you've been dreaming of how to make these things happen, or not feeling as if you can make these things happen, like hard on yourself, you know? And this Cancer new moon is like, if it's coming from the heart space and you want to expand, you can definitely do that. Yeah, this idea of not feeling as if you are not strong enough, you don't have, oh my, there we go. You see it. The sun in reverse. Oopsies. You know, feeling as if your inner child has not been let out, not being like free to communicate, free to dabble in pleasure and joy and just radiate the way that you've been wanting to radiate. And that's understanding, because Uranus and Taurus has probably, especially now, as Mars and Leo has squared that, like there's just been a lot of like tension, a lot of like wanting to isolate, a lot of just not feeling on top of your game. And so you could feel like, when the hell is the sun going to come out and shine on me? This Cancer new moon is going to give you this oomph of energy for you to come back to that inner child, to that pleasure, to that joy, to your strength, knowing that you can do whatever you want to do, especially as Uranus moves into your 2nd house of Gemini. It's just really going to give you like this kind of idea of like, I am worthy. I can do these things. I can probably make some money from dabbling in back into my creative pursuits, okay? I love this for you. Please let me know in the comments if this resonates with you, and share, like, and subscribe. And I will see you in a few weeks. Bye, Taurus. Hi, Gemini and Gemini Rising. This is your Cancer new moon video, and I know that you are probably excited that so many things are moving out of your 1st house. It has been a busy, rough year for the mutables. So rough. So rough. I get it. As a Jupiter in Gemini at 29 degrees in the 11th house in her Jupiter return, boy, oh boy, was that year busy and overwhelming for the mental space. And so I can only imagine when it sits into your first house how exhausting that was probably for you. Now, you know, Jupiter has moved out of your first house, moving into your second, giving you expansive energy and how you make your money, your budgeting, your self worth, all of those things. And now you have a Cancer new moon there as well. This is so beautiful for you, Gemini risings. You deserve it. So the Cancer new moon is happening in your second house of your money, your values, and your self worth, right? This is a time to write some intentions around how you want to expand your income, your material possessions, expand your self worth. So doing a lot of like affirmations. Maybe you hire a life coach. Maybe you really put into a practice of like journaling and creating a budget for yourself to really hone in on how you can make the most of your money. I love this for you. And it's really intuitive as well. I feel like you have been getting this inkling for a while, and now it's just like, okay, now I have the energy behind it. So this is like a financial and energetic new moon for you to really just set some intentions around there, reset all the like that might have hello that might have words that might have happened over the last year, especially since we just finished a Jupiter square again. Okay. Mars in your fourth house, right? Mars in Virgo, fellow mutable, so it makes a square to your rising sign, is really asking you to, with this Cancer new moon, because Cancer in Virgo is a harmonious aspect, asking you, how can we maybe ask the family for support, or maybe bring them into how we are making our money, how we create a budget. It might be something around that area. So if you're close to your family, you might want to bring them in on this situation that you're the intentions that you're making during this new moon. Also, Saturn and Neptune in your 11th house, you know, that house of hopes, wishes, and dreams. It's really going to ask you to create a plan. Let's be honest. How are you going to make more money that are aligned with your hopes, wishes, and dreams? How are you going to create some confidence in reaching your vision? How are you going to do that? We can't just have all the ideas and not put a plan in place, okay? Saturn in Aries is going to teach everybody how to be disciplined when making a plan and trying to reach that final destination. Alrighty. So here's a journal prompt for you, which I think I forgot to give to everybody else, but you know what? When I remember, it's for you. So here we go. What would it look like to feel safe and rooted in my self-worth? Yeah. Knowing that you can handle whatever comes up and anything is possible. Anything is possible. And then let's pull a card for you. Judgment card. Anything is possible. Anything is possible if you just believe. No. Judgment really always to me is like the call is coming from inside the house, right? Like I know maybe other tarot readers don't view it as that, but it's big air energy, right? Big Libra energy, Aquarius energy, Gemini energy. And for me, it is literally, let me cover up their non-existent bits. But for me, it's literally saying, you have been getting inklings, you have been hearing the voices. You just need to listen to them. You just need to listen to your ideas. You need to implement your ideas so things can get done. You are done with the old ways, the old patterns, the old systems, the old beliefs. You're done with that. You've believed them for far too long, and none of them are true. And you need to start really honing in onto like the reality, the truth of the situation. And I think it's been very positive, and I think that's very challenging for you sometimes, because it's for all of us, right? It's always easier to just loop into things that we might believe, especially when we have like some evidence of those things being true. But like the brain is, there's neuroplasticity. You can always rewire your brain, right? Is it easy? No. Can it be done? Yes. So this card to me lets me know that you've been getting the inklings, you've been hearing the signs, you've been hearing the voices of really starting to change your mindset and moving towards something that benefits you more than your old mindset benefited you. So I wish you nothing but peace and ease, honestly, for this Cancer new moon, setting intentions around making more money, budgeting your money, and thinking very highly of yourself. All right. All right, Gemini Risings. I will see you next month. Hi, Cancer and Cancer Rising. This is your new moon video in Cancer. So this new moon is in your first house. So exciting. I think I mentioned this before, and I'm going to mention it every single time because it actually changed my life pretty drastically. 2 or 3 years ago, I want to say probably 3 years ago, honestly, I had a new moon on my birthday. Like January 2nd, there was a new moon in Capricorn. And I set some intentions about how I wanted my life to move forward. I was also really fed up with my life at that time, too. And most of the things that wrote down have come true in a way that has been so amazing and unexpected. And I really had to take a chance on myself. So I'm saying this all to say a new moon in your first house is such a beautiful reset from the heart space, from your intuition. Cancers and Cancer risings, y'all are already very intuitive, insensitive, emotionally sensitive. So I know you've been feeling this feel of like there is better, there is some newness, especially from the heart space, from the sacral space, right? If you have any planets in the other cardinal signs, Capricorn, Libra, Aries, and they're between 0 and 6 degrees, it's going to square those aspects, especially Saturn and Neptune. Anyway, I'm saying not Capricorn. It's going to be across from you. Sorry, opposition there. The thing about the squares and that might bring up some challenges and some obstacles, it's all for the good. It's all for your growth, right? If we can learn how to flow a little bit more, know that nothing in life stays the same and everything ends and then ending is a new beginning. If we can have that perspective 75% of the time, because believe me, I'm a realist, I know that is not going to happen all of the time, but if we can have it at least 75% of the time, man, this is a new moon to really start again for you. So this is about it's in the first house, so your identity, your body, your goals, your ambitions, just who you are, the way you look, the way you feel, the way you're dressing, all of those things are in the first house. So this for you is like, for everybody, this is a new beginning, right? But for you, more than anyone else, this is a personal new beginning because it's hitting your personal planets. So I think this is a time to set some intentions of whatever the heck you want to do. Whatever you want to do, however you see yourself moving forward in this life, set the intentions around there, especially if you've been feeling them in the heart space, especially if it's been on your mind for a long time. You have Mars in Virgo, which makes a really lovely aspect to you in your third house. So being able to communicate that, express that to other people, maybe teach it to other people. And then you have Saturn and Neptune in your 10th house of career and legacy. Maybe maybe you're like, I deserve that promotion. I'm going to go for that promotion. Maybe your public image shifts, going from married to divorced to in a relationship, from single to engaged, something like that. Just like, how do you want to be seen in this world, and how can you do it from the heart space while also incorporating some discipline to get it done, right? I love this for you. Happy birthday if it's your birthday season, if it's your birthday as well. So just really take some time to soften into these intentions. Don't be in a hurry to see them manifest, but work for it, be patient, go with the flow. Here's a journal prompt for you. Who am I becoming when I lead with care and compassion for myself first? Yes. Okay, one card. I'm going to get another card for you. The first card that popped out was the Star in reverse, and I forgot to have my handy dandy post-it near me. Hold on one second. So sorry, I had to go cover her bits. But the first card that fell out fell out is the Star in reverse. So, what are you healing from? Jupiter's been in that 12th house for such a long time, right? Bringing up things, having ideas of how to move forward after maybe some yucky stuff came up in the therapy or dream state or the subconscious. And now Jupiter in your first house with your new moon. Forgot to even mention that. Jupiter in your first house now with this new moon, expansion of who you are. If it's time to talk to somebody, it's time to heal, it's time to let old things go so you could be fresh and anew. And people are like, I don't know if she's going to be. You are. You are. Let me just pull. Let's just do that. Because there has been a cycle that has been completed. And that makes sense. Jupiter going from the 12th to the 1st. There's a cycle of completion there. There's a new beginning there. And now, after you've done all this gunky work in the 12th house for the last year, you are now like emerging as something brand spanking new, right? And sometimes when that happens, especially for Cancers, because they're the crab, the way that we get to where we want to go is sometimes very sideways. It's just not very linear. But that's okay. Healing is not linear. Growth is not linear. Life is not linear. So if you feel like, oh, I thought I did all of this healing work, and yeah, I did all of this healing work, and I just am not. I don't see the fruits of my labor. Gotta be patient. Gotta be patient. You have to move forward. You have to take the first step. Write some intentions down. Sit in a bath. Take a shower. Do something very water-based, intuitive-based for this Cancer new moon. Because the cycle has been completed. And when a cycle has been completed, then there's always opportunity to start a whole new cycle, completely different from the one that's done. All right, Cancer risings. I hope this has been helpful. Please let me know in the comments if it has been. Hi, Leo and Leo risings. All right, so Cancer new moon in the 12th house. Jupiter has moved into the 12th house. Uranus is making his way out of your 10th house pretty soon. Mars, by the time that this video goes out, is out of your first house. Thank the fucking universe. Look, I'm a Mars and Leo taking this card. Hilarious that this card is the card that comes out. Mars and Leo, man, there was no rest for the wicked. None. Bus, train, more work, more fallout, more this. So crazy. So crazy. Okay, it's out. It's in your second house now, as of June 17th. In your night... When the cards just fall out, I love that. To just have a whole story to tell. Okay. So this is in your 12th house. Jupiter is now in your 12th house. Mars is now in your second house. Saturn and Neptune are now in your 9th house. Whole sign, of course. This new moon is asking you to come back to yourself. Maybe come back to a little bit of stillness. Take some time to rest, maybe get some energy work done, maybe talk to a therapist, maybe start writing creating a dream journal. It is asking you to make sure you are resting. And as a person whose niche is restorative yoga, yes, and yes. This might be you wanting to travel to a place to rest. This might be you wanting to travel to places that help you rest or you feel at home in, because this all, of course, has connections to the 4th and the 8th, the 9th house, right? So this is really about you coming back to yourself and really saying, like setting some intentions on how I'm going to rest. I know your birthday season is coming up if you're a Leo sun. So you might in the summer, right? Like, so you want to be out in them streets. Be out in them streets. What I'm saying is, can you create some balance of rest and stillness as you do that? Was one of my favorite, one of the authors who I really use in my practice of restorative yoga, Octavia F. Raheen. Without rest, there is no clarity. So for Leo risings, it has been a really like nonstop roller coaster, wild ass ride for quite a while, honestly. Jupiter wants you to expand your rest practice, expand your healing, expand things from the heart space. This new moon that will be conjunct that is asking you to do the same exact thing. Write some intentions, set some intentions around how we can create a routine, a system for deep healing. Maybe you see a hypnosis, past life regression, someone. It is all about those like quirky 12th house things. Mars in your second house has you thinking about like maybe you might be a little bit worried about how you're going to make money, or you're still so busy about how you're going to make money, and getting all these things done to budget. You might be spending a little bit more money. You're like, nah, I don't got it, right? It's like, okay, take some time to rest. Get some clarity on how you're going to move forward with Mars in your second house for the next 6 to 8 weeks. And then you have Saturn and Neptune in your ninth house, which pairs perfectly and not perfectly with the 12th. Is there a faith based practice that you've been trying to start and like you just can't get it? Like you're just like, meh, you know? 12th house is spiritual as well, right? Ninth house is your faith. 12th house is your spirituality. Do you need to travel somewhere to help you deep dive into that spiritual practice, into your rest practice, into whatever that looks like? So rest is not really being lazy. I know people will say that, but like you need it. And the card that I got for that, the two cards that popped out are the Five of Cups. So feeling like they're disconnected, unsupported, which I can feel like Leo risings, it actually came out like that, can feel that way, especially with Mars in the second house and Mars in the first house. Maybe there were some like really kind of harsh friend breakups, work breakups, some kind of breakups where you're like, now I got to pick up these pieces of like these conversations I've had to have, these things that have happened to me that I'm like, what the heck has happened? You can be feeling kind of like in your feelings about it, right? And then the other card that just jumped out was the Nine of Cups, feeling like you have reached it all, sitting there like you thought y'all had me. You thought like y'all got me. You thought it wasn't going to happen. But look, I have my wishes, my hopes, my dreams. These two things this does not happen unless you rest, unless you get clarity, unless you work on yourself, unless you come to some kind of mindset like all of this stuff, all of this gunk, all of this conflict, emotional conflict was not for nothing. It was to get me to a space to really realize that I am worth more. I am worthy of more. This is how I want to move on my life. This is really a desire. This is how I'm going to get it. Jupiter in Cancer in your 12th house wants you to be here. You probably have started here. By the time Jupiter in Cancer is done with you, by the time you see this new moon turn into a full moon, you'll be here. You have to make a conscious effort though. And here's the journal prompt for you. Where am I being asked to surrender control and allow softness to guide me? That is going to be the key of this transit of this new moon for you. And I know like Leo risings, people have such a hard take on them, but y'all are heart centered anyway, playful like a lion, heart of a lion. So how can you lean more into this heart space and less of this validation for other people and worried about what other people are saying about you? Okay? Okay. I'll see you next month. And then, will it be next month? Yeah, for the Capricorn full moon, I think. Let's see. Hi, Virgo and Virgo Rising. This is your Cancer New Moon video. Yay! Cancer planets, this new moon is going to make really lovely, harmonious aspects to any of your Virgo placements. So, whether you're a Virgo Sun, Virgo Moon, Virgo Rising, Virgo, whatever you are, it'll make some lovely aspects, especially if you're between 0 and 6 degrees. This is happening in your 11th house of communities, your friendships, your vision. And this is such a sweet moon for you to have set some intentions around seeds for a new future, whether that's your community, a new friend, actual new friends, a new goal, new vision of how you want to live your life. This is a sweet, beautiful, fruitful new moon for that, especially because Jupiter is now in your 11th house as well. I had Jupiter in my 11th house. I don't think it's going to be as um, beautiful, like beneficial hello, let me get my words together. I have Jupiter in Gemini. It was a busy 11th house. For you, Cancer there, it makes it a little more slow, a little from the heart space, less from the brain space. So I think for you, this is going to give you an opportunity to slow down, gain some clarity on how you want to move forward in your community, in your friendships, in your vision, especially if you want to find a new community, new friendships, or just resetting your vision for your life. Mars in your first house is going to want to have you all over the place doing all of the things, right? And while that is great, make sure that you're actually taking time for yourself and seeing if the things that you're doing are really aligned with where you want to be, and you're not just doing them to be busy and doing them to just be a Virgo, right? Like, let's make sure that the actions that we're taking are really aligned on how we want to move forward in our life. You have Saturn and Neptune in your 8th house, so other people's stuff. So really, this is like, do you need to have conversations with business partners or your intimate partner on alignment of the vision for the future, how you want to move, not actually like physically move, but how you want to start moving in this world in the future. I love this for you. This card just stayed down. Yeah. Okay. Do you need a blessed union? Are you finding community where the Hierophant? Love that for you. You know, Virgo, the Virgin, the harvest, the blessing. Um, I think this is really beautiful for you because it tells me that when you know who you are, when you really slow down a little bit, you can expand in a community that is more aligned, more friendships that are aligned, and it will be blessed, right? The feminine card for this would be the High Priestess, right? So this is a little more action oriented, so it's about like finding alignment and also like making those connections and doing the things, but from a space of the divine. So if you are looking for a new community, looking to deepen your relationships and not be taken advantage of or like deeply connect, right? Like maybe I get the sense, which is really weird, that the person that you are in maybe a relationship with, maybe it's a business partnership or like a romantic partnership, maybe you would love the blessings from your friends, from your friend group, and you just really haven't probably told them yet. And this Cancer new moon and the Jupiter in Cancer really lets you be a little bit free in that and saying, yeah, this is how I'm moving. And they're like, yeah, hell yeah, yeah, do that. And so you do get the blessing, you do get the union, you do get the confirmation, you do get the validation on the move that you're trying to make is a good move inside the community with your friends and towards your vision. I really, really love this for you. You definitely deserve it. A journal prompt I would give for you is, what does it feel like to be in community with people that are like minded and validate your vision? Okay? Okay, see you next time. Hi Libra and Libra Rising. This is your Cancer new moon video. And this is happening in your 10th house. Love that. Expand the career. Expand your purpose. Expand your public image. Really doing things from the heart space, right? You're a Libra Rising, so your whole chart is ruled by Venus from the heart space. This, while it's going to make a square to your personal planets, right? The square, I think, is going to have you speaking up for yourself. It's going to have you reconnect with this heart space and actually move forward with it a little bit instead of being like in the air, like, I don't know how to move, I don't know what to do, playing devil's advocate. I think the Cancer new moon and that Jupiter connection in Cancer in your 10th house is really going to be like, hey, yep. We need to bring a little more balance to our career. We need to bring a little more purpose. We need to bring a little more harmony into what we're showing out in this world. It can't, and look, I'm saying this as a person that I know you've been going through lots of transformative transits. It's been wild and wonky for Libras, Aries, Cat. I know that. Hopefully all of those have helped you to redefine what success looks like to you. And hopefully success looks like harmonious. That's not even right. It looks like harmony. It looks like soul connected. It looks like alignment. It looks like purpose. It feels good to you. Your soul is singing. Your heart is happy. Okay? Mars in your 12th house you might have been quite tired. You might be quite tired as you move into this transit, Mars in the 12th, for the next 6 to 8 weeks. It's going to ask you come back to yourself. It's going to ask you to slow things down a little bit. It's going to ask you what your rest practice looks like so you can bring yourself back into balance. Saturn and Neptune in the 7th house is asking you, are you in relationships with people that are draining you emotionally, that are not so good for your career, not so good for your purpose, not so good for your visibility? And if you are, what conversations during this new moon do you need to have so you can feel like the Temperance card? Right? So I think this is such a sweet new moon to plant some intentions around what success feels like, how you want to move in your career, even if you want to be bossy boss. How can that still be balanced in your life? That success, but also a time for restoration. So here's a prompt for you. What does it feel like to succeed without self-sacrifice? What does it feel like? Let's look at the bottom. What does it feel like to succeed without self-sacrifice? 10 of Swords. You don't have to give up your whole being. You don't have to let people walk all over you by going with the flow. That's not what going with the flow. That's not what playing devil's advocate is about. That's not what Libras they self-sacrifice all the time and then be like, why do I feel so tired? Why do I feel so burnt out? Why am I so out of whack? Hello. Rest. Make yourself a priority. You can still succeed by making yourself a priority. Okay, let me know how this plays out for you. I would love to know. See you next moon cycle. Hello, Scorpio and Scorpio Risings. This is hello, girl, your words. This is your Cancer new moon video. Making lovely aspects, right? A trine, because you are fixed water. So this is going to be really well for you. Even though I love to say, like, Scorpios really aren't water people, right? They're more like a fire, earth mix, honestly. So, anywho, I love you. This is happening in your 9th house of travel, expansion, and beliefs. And Jupiter is there now. And Jupiter loves to be in the 9th house. The moon really likes to be in the 9th house as well. This is a time for expansion and planting seeds. Planting seeds on how you want to expand in your knowledge, your beliefs, traveling, higher knowledge. This is just philosophy, wisdom. Like, what do you want to do? You can do it. What intentions do you want to manifest over the next 6 months, possibly more? In regards to traveling foreign and abroad, to expanding yourself, whether that be like expanding where you're living, where you're moving, where you're traveling to, expanding your beliefs, expanding your knowledge, and maybe even your faith-based practices. This is such a good moon for you all. I love that anything that you put a little bit of va 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 voom behind can really manifest itself. Excuse me. You know that you have Jupiter right next to this moon. It's going to make a conjunction. So whatever, it's like the, of course, it's not like a lightning spark because it's water, but it's like, you know, like I don't know how to even say it more than like, it's like when you go to lighting a candle. Like you just need to set it in motion and then it can expand. I would say really start believing in yourself more than like listening to what outside people are saying. Let the heart space lead from this, your sacral as well, lead you as you try to manifest this new beginning in travel, expansion, belief systems. Mars in your 11th house gives you the laser eye vision on how to do it, how to make maybe like create a bigger community, how to plan your new vision. It gives you that finding the right people that help you to help support you in this. Love it. Love it. Love it. Saturn and Neptune in your 6th house, though, can be like, oh my God, my schedule's so crazy. I can't make time for this. No, you can. You probably have to just schedule it. You know, you probably just have to schedule it. You probably have to make yourself a priority. Stop listening to other people. Wow, 4 cards. I probably will take them. You can do it. And it literally is what I was just saying. And I love when the cards are like, and on period. And tell them that what you're saying is true. I'm going to confirm what Deanna was saying is true. Because the 8 of Swords, the 10 of Wands, the Ace of Wands, and the 2 of Wands. So many wands. 9th house wands. Get up and go. Stop pretending you don't know how to communicate, how you want to move, how you want to lead, how you want to go. Stop pretending you don't see that you're looking for outside validation, that you want people to like cheer you on, that you need that to keep it going, that you stop pretending you don't know how to get from point A to point B. Okay? Stop listening. Stop holding everybody's burden. I will say this to Scorpio until the day I goddamn die. Stop trying to be there for everybody. Stop trying to create things that are not meant for you. Stop trying to hold on to those things. It's a burden. You can't keep going when you can't have a fun, fresh life and expand when you're holding on to the 10 of Wands. You sure know what I'm saying? You can't do it. You can't expand holding on to all these wands. Can't travel. Okay. The next card is the Ace of Wands. When you have a realization about this and you let these burdens go, you let this go, then guess what? New offers, new possibilities, new ways of moving forward can happen. I always feel like there's a group of us who we finally let these things go. Or we're like, oh, okay, yeah, all right. And then we're like, oh my God, there's new opportunities. And then we get in our head again and we're like, you know what? I really can't do it. It really can't happen. Can we not? Can we stay in this idea of the opportunities that might be presented, this new way of expressing yourself, this new way of traveling, this new way of expanding, these new beliefs that are coming, that are being offered to you? Can we just accept they probably are not going to look the way that you thought they were going to look? Can we do that? Can we not sit here in this energy of like, it doesn't look the way. I didn't want to go here first. I wanted to go here first. And if I can't go to this place first, if I can't believe this first, if I can't do this first, then everything else can't happen. Sometimes the offers that we need are not necessarily the offers that we think. Look, Uranus in your seventh house leaving is really going to ask you to like let old things go. Old patterns, old beliefs, old everything, old routines. And how can we really be open to new ways of expanding joy, creative, our truth? Where your journal prompt is what beliefs or experiences can help you feel emotionally free and alive. Okay? I'm going to leave it like that because I feel like I drag you because I love you. I drag Virgo because I love them. I drag Leos because I love them as well. But I really want y'all to take stock of what your belief system right now. Okay? You have every opportunity for the next year as Jupiter and Cancer transits this area of your chart to really expand your belief system and really let go of that old bullshit that you've been believing for such a long time that has really got you stagnant and stuck. Okay? Okay. Hi, Sagittarius and Sag Risings. Did this just come out? I've always. Hello, get back in there. Hi, Sag Risings. How are you? Happy Cancer new moon. This is happening in your eighth house. Deep, intimate relationships, shared resources, transformation, death and rebirth. The eighth house, Cancer new moon there. Quite lovely, honestly. It's happening in a water house, so it feels very comfortable there. Jupiter has made its way there. I'm going to ask you to really focus on the positive for this next year. With your deep, intimate partnerships, with your shared resources, especially if they're shared resources with a partner, if it's shared resources with, hello, brain, business, asking for loans, asking for grants, any of those things, that's shared resources. I'm going to ask you to think positively this time around so Jupiter can expand those positive thoughts out there. And the new moon can like, boop, give you that extra boost of energy to get those manifestations going, right? This is about setting some intentions around healing intimate relationships, creating new intimate relationships, transforming into who you want to be, even if that means leaving things behind and really starting fresh and anew, but from a heart space. I really love this for you. I think like you're such a worldly, vibey kind of sign that I don't think this work is going to be too challenging for you. I do think you might like have a hard time if things come up around like leaving people behind, leaving places behind to really start fresh and anew. That might be challenging for you, but that's actually just challenging for everyone, right? Mars and Virgo's in your 10th house of like your career, your legacy, your public image, and maybe you're just working really, really hard. And your partner is like, why are you working so hard? Blah, 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 blah. Or like supporting you, which would be really lovely on why you are working so hard. Super great energy. So this is like you, I really feel like maybe work can help you, I don't know, like build trust with your partner, transform into who you really want to be, have conversations around intimacy as well. Like there's something about work that's going to go along with this. I'm just not really sure how it's going to manifest itself. Also, Saturn and Neptune in your fifth house of creativity, dating, and romance. There's definitely conversations with a partner. Definitely. Boundaries with a partner. Getting deeper with a partner. Expanding with a partner. Yeah, there's some conflict, like conversations that you need to have with a partner. I did say like career, but now, nope. Let's talk about partner. Or groups of people that you are in partnership with, that you share resources, share money. There is something that needs to be said. I feel like if you don't want to ask for the loan, if you don't want to do any of those things, you have to. You have to have a conversation. And it won't be, I think, if the new moon and Jupiter weren't in your eighth house, this can be very like fisticuffy because we get the Five of Swords in reverse. So it could have been kind of volatile. But I think like in the reverse, it's like, no, you maybe have like, you're softening the blow of the communication that needs to happen. That people will not walk away from this conversation feeling hurt, feeling confused, feeling lost. That like there is a conversation that needs to be had, but it will you will come to some kind of consensus, because they believe you, the Emperor at the bottom of the deck, because they believe what you're saying to be true, coming from a place of authority, but also making sure that everybody else is okay. So if you were going to have this, if you have already had this blowout communication, this email, this fight, this whatever, I feel like you can come back to it with your intimate partner, with a person you've been dating, with maybe a business partnership or something like that. And then take some deep breaths during this Cancer new moon, Jupiter in Cancer, to maybe see eye to eye, because I think they needed space as well. You probably needed some space in between, and then you will feel like the Emperor, like, okay, this is how we're going to move forward. This is how we do the things to get us to a really lovely place. So here's a journal prompt for you for this Cancer new moon. Where am I ready to be seen in my tenderness and still feel safe? Yeah, I think that is really what this is all about. That a conversation really got very not so great. Um, but you needed to say the things. You know what I'm saying? But I think as you're moving on, it gets a little bit less tender, and you can still have this very vulnerable conversation in your power to communicate your needs and your desires as you move forward in this relationship. If it's work related, if it's one like a romantic partnership, or just with friends, okay? All right, I'll see you next time. Hi, Capricorn and Capricorn Risings. How are you faring these days? Hopefully, all is well. As a fellow Capricorn Sun and Venus, we're just we're just trying to make everything work, honestly. So this is your Cancer new moon video. This Cancer new moon is happening in your seventh house of one-to-one relationships. As the sun moves there, Jupiter is there now. There is going to be such an emphasis on one-to-one relationships, your romantic partnerships, maybe with your astrologer, your doctor, your healer, whatever. There is just such emphasis on relationships and reflecting how they're going, to be very honest. This new moon, like I said, brings partnership into focus, and how partnerships and one-to-one relationships need to be authentically aligned to your heart space. And hopefully, as a Capricorn, you are able to reflect on your heart space and what you need and desire and what you deserve in one-to-one relationships. I know, like this, the Cancer Capricorn axis is such an extreme one. At least that's what we're told from generalizations and stereotypes of both these signs. But they both are deeply connected to the heart space. The way they go about showing their love and affection and the way they support people is very different, right? And so if we can come with this mindset that most Capricorns have lots of Cancer in like tendencies and desires, we would be a little more easy with that. And I'm saying this as a person that always saw his eyes Cancer placements and shit. This moon is asking you to set some intentions around how you want your partnerships to look, how you would like them to feel, how you would like them to expand, especially coming from the heart space, not from the logic, not from the place of doing, being productive, where Capricorn can live 99% of the time, but how you want it to feel. How do you want it to nourish you? How you want to be nourished, okay? I love that for you. I want that for you during this new moon. Please set some intentions around intuitive, sensitive, nurturing one-to-one relationships. Mars in your ninth house is really asking you, wants you to expand on your thoughts and beliefs, maybe about one-to-one relationships. Saturn and Neptune and Aries in your fourth house is asking you to be very honest on the way your home, your foundations, the stability looks. Like, do we need to have conversations? Do we need to have better alignment? Do we need to flow a little bit more and be open to conversations around that area of your life? It's about seeing what you need first and then what everyone else needs. Wow. What path do I take? When is this going to be over? The two cards that popped out. The Wheel of two major arcana cards. Two things that pop out for you in the reverse. The Chariot being the Cancer card, the Wheel of Fortune out there. Maybe you feel like you have no control. You don't know how to move forward in your one-to-one relationships and your partnerships. Whatever path you choose is the path, right? I think we get caught up so much with this Chariot card and, oh, I'm going to pick the wrong path. I'm going to choose the wrong direction. You're a Capricorn. You have all that you need. And I was just talking to a client yesterday that was a Capricorn Rising. And I'm saying the same. It's so interesting. She got the Chariot, but in the upright. We Capricorns have such a hard time wanting to deviate from a plan, from a path, even if it's not working out, because there's something about us, it's something about y'all, that goat energy, that I'm just going to keep climbing this stupid mountain just because I know I have to, because I'm expected to, because I should, coulda, woulda. I know it doesn't make any sense. I know this climbing this mountain is really not beneficial, but I'm going to do it anyway. Right? So I think with the Chariot card, there's this sense of like, I don't know what path to choose. I don't know which way to go. I don't have the energy to do it anymore. I don't have the momentum behind me. Babes, you're a Capricorn. You have the experience. You have the knowledge. You have the wisdom. You have the discipline to make whatever choice, whatever path you take will work out. Will it look very different than what you thought it would be? Yeah, the Wheel of Fortune is saying, especially in reverse, it's like this life, this circle of life that we're living in is not always linear. It is not always going to be the way that we worked out, we wanted it to be. And this also is a sense of like, oh, I don't have all the tools that I need to make things happen. The Wheel of Fortune looks like a natal chart wheel, right? Has all the four elements, and because now you have Jupiter in your seventh house, which is an angular, one of your angular houses, because you have Saturn and Neptune in your fourth house, another angular house, your chart is moving. It's gonna move whether you like it or not. I'm asking you, I'm hoping for you, I'm wishing for you that you can allow your will to turn in your benefit. That you don't fight the change, that you don't fight the transition, that you don't fight this idea of like, things are changing and I don't know how to move. You do know how to move. This Cancer new moon, this Jupiter in Cancer, the Saturn in your fourth is asking you to choose yourself first. That's the choice. Choose yourself first. Choose your heart first, and then act accordingly. Choose your heart first. Choose your mental health first. Choose your physical health first. Choose you first. And then when you do that, everything flows from that. Everything aligns from that. Okay? I know this was a tough read, but I really love this for you. I think that, let me see. I think this is really beneficial for you in a way that is going to allow you to soften into your intentions, to be sweet. Not, let me take that back. You are sweet. To flow, to be soft, to ride the wave. You're a sea goat. You're a sea goat. You have a fin, okay? You can ride the wave of, what's the word? Uncertainty. You can ride that wave. You can ride that wave. Put yourself first. Put yourself first. Yep. And ride that wave and move away. Keep going until you feel emotionally fulfilled, emotionally supported, nurtured, balanced. Keep moving away from the things that don't make you feel that way. Gosh, I love this for you. I love it for me. Here's a journal prompt for you. What does a nurturing, balanced relationship look like for me right now? Right now. 2025. Right now. All right, let me know how this works out for you in the comments. Please like, share, subscribe to the channel. Hi Aquarius and Aquarius Rising. This is your Cancer new moon video. So this new moon is happening in your 6th house of health, habits, and your daily routines. I love this new moon for you. I love it for you. The new moon is really inviting you in Cancer, is inviting you to create some routines and honor your body and your nervous system. I know. It's really not about being productive and move, 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 move. It's really about how can we be more intentional with our health, with our habits, with our daily schedule and routines. Is it coming from the heart space or just after a to do checklist? Is it coming from the brain, like, oh, I need to be doing these, I should be doing things, and more of like, no, this feels good to me. This will help me soften. This helps me regulate. This helps me do all those things. I like this new moon for you. Jupiter has also moved into your 6th house. So there is this sense of like wanting to expand your self care practices, your your health routines. I like it. Mars is in your 8th house right now. So, really, like, what does that mean when it comes to your deep, intimate connections? Are you in connections that are like frazzling your nervous system, frazzling your day to day schedules, and making you. Oh my God, leaning you into unhealthy habits? If that's the key, Mars and Virgo's like, stop it. Let's put a plan in place. Stop it. Let's put a plan in place. Saturn and Neptune is in your 3rd house, communication and expression. So maybe you need to tell people like, hey, you can't vent to me like this. You can't trauma dump here. Trauma dump here. Hey, I'm gonna do this now. This is how I'm moving forward in my life. This makes me feel a little more healthy, a little more satisfied, a little more connected, right, to the earth, to myself, to source, to the universe, to whatever. I'm going to do these things now. So there's this sense of you realizing you need to put some systems in place, something that's been stirring in your soul and your spirit, and then realizing like it might be like other people that have like affected you in that way. Maybe the partner that you're with has been like bugging the shit out of you or whatever. Business partnership, lack of like getting grants or loans have just kind of like thrown you for a loop or whatever. And then you're like, I need to communicate that you can't trauma dump here. You can't do these things. I'm moving this way now. So really setting some boundaries as well. I really love this for you. So set some intentions around creating sacred space for yourself, sacred structures for yourself, new and improved ways of prioritizing your health in your daily routines. Okay? Is that hello? Here's a journal prompt for you, Aquarians. What would it look like to treat my daily life as a practice in emotional safety and energetic hygiene? Yeah. I told you somebody is not creating, somebody's taking you out of your creative habits and emotional support and routines. Like there's something about somebody took you out of that kind of vibe. It was, I don't know, I don't want to say maybe you were obsessed about something and you just couldn't let it go, or there's just people that seem like they were generous and really trying to help you, and they were not. They are not trying to help you. Maybe they were they were like a little emotionally manipulative. It could be a coworker. The 6th house does deal with coworkers, a little manipulative and like seemed like they were helpful, but they weren't, and just made you all kind of like frazzled. Queen of Pentacles is where we want to be, right? Fruits of our labor. Being connected with the earth, being connected to yourself, being connected with your body, having a regulated nervous system, knowing that everything that you've worked for is not in vain, knowing that once you slow down, it is okay to slow down. It is okay to reap your rewards, the success, the fruits of your labor, but you do need to slow down to come back to yourself, to come back to this Queen of Pentacles energy. I definitely suggest if these are people that have taken you out of your Queen energy, it's time to release them and then set some new intentions around finding support people to help you maintain this Queen of Pentacles energy. I hope this has been helpful, Aquarius. Please let me know in the comments and like and share. Subscribe if you haven't. Hi Pisces and Pisces Rising. This is your Cancer new moon video. This is happening in your 5th house. How lovely, how sweet, a fellow water sign. So this new moon is going to vibe with you really, really well, especially if you have any personal planets in Pisces from 0 to 6 degrees. This is really sweet. And that it's transiting your 5th house of creativity, pleasure, and joy is even sweeter. Definitely set some new intentions around bringing more joy, expanding your dating life, your romantic life, having a good time with your children. If you want children, it's a good time to do whatever you need to do to get some. And all in all, your self-expression, your creativity. Whatever you've been feeling in the heart space, this is a time to set some intentions there. I really absolutely adore this for you. Mars in your 7th house is really going to get you to like be for real about your one-to-one relationships. This could be romantic partnerships. This could even be business partnerships. So maybe you find somebody to collaborate on a creative project you've been working on. There's a hummingbird right there. That would be super lovely during this time. It's going to ask you to really have some discipline in regards to maybe coming back to your self-expression, not just hoping and wishing and dreaming that they fell out. I'll take them anyway because I just feel like this might be it. Well, whatever comes out is always going to be relevant. So 7th house Mars is there, and then Saturn and Neptune in your 2nd house. Maybe you do want to get out there and date again and like have a good time, but you are really feeling you have a lack of self-confidence. Maybe your self-worth is not where you would like it to be to do that. I would say like this is a good time to plant some seeds around like working on your self-worth, of really saying like those old mindset beliefs about who you are and how you move through this world, not true. They're okay, choking on my spit. They're just not true. And so maybe you listen to affirmations in the morning and before you go to bed. Maybe you get a life coach, somebody to work with you. But this is such a sweet moon to really come back into your heart space, to really start flowing more creatively. And I do feel, because the cards that popped out are kind of cards are like you feel out of your magic. You feel out of yourself. And maybe Saturn transiting your rising sign for such a long time can have you so goddamn discombobulated, right? Like, sorry, I'm trying to move the cards out the way and then flip these around the way that they came out. Hello. That you don't even know how to move forward, right? This 8 of Swords speaks of, like, you pretending you don't know what the fucking problem is, that you don't understand what's going on and how it happened or whatever, right? But she's not bound. She's not trapped. She could take the blindfold off. She could loosen out of the bondage and she can move on. She's just choosing to pretend that she can't do it. So my question for you is, how the transits, the mutable squares, the Saturn and Neptune transiting your 1st house, are you feeling a little like disillusioned about creating and dating and who you are at this moment? Do you feel like you're out of your power and you won't make the money, you won't have the success? Do you feel that way? That's the first thing to tackle. If you feel like you don't have your magic, you don't know where the creative expression is going to come from, you don't feel secure and stable and confident in yourself, if you're feeling that way, then the intention to set at this Cancer new moon is working on that. If you are coming back to yourself, like you feel like, oh, I'm coming back online now, like, oh, okay, I can breathe, okay, then it's time to really start working on your self-confidence and moving forward. So, right, like you have this knowledge of like, okay, I know what needs to be done. Now it's time to start flipping these cards around. It's time to bring the magic, bring the power back to yourself and start creating and start making things happen. This Cancer new moon is like asking you to do it from the heart space, not just because you have to, but because you want to and you love it and you want to expand. knowing that you have all of the elements behind you, that you can be successful doing it, you can create a sense of abundance and stability and security with those things in the fifth house that you have the ability to do. But it's just not going to be thrown on your doorstep. It's just not going to happen if you don't make the extra effort to do it. All right, Pisces, let me know how this works out for you. I will see you next time.